Hey guys, so today we are going to look at the freedom of speech in schools, but from the teacher's perspective. So how does the freedom of speech differ for students versus teachers? That is the question you should be able to answer by the end of the day. So we'll go over teachers' First Amendment rights. We'll do a Kahoot, and then that information will help you with your comparison that you will add to your additional information section of your current event report. Speaking of that current event report, it'll be due Monday the 17th, and you guys only have 19 more days left until the end of the term. Sweet. And that's school days. That's not including weekends and days off. I think there's 28 of those days left. So we are getting there. All right, freedom of speech for teachers. Okay. So public employees do not have the same freedom of speech as privately employed people. So teachers would be considered a public employee. If you are speaking as a private citizen on a matter of public concern, the teacher is fully protected. So in other words, like if you ran into your teacher somewhere and you asked them about a public concern or like a public issue, they would be able to tell you their point of view. If you are speaking as part of your job, such as instructing, your speech will not always have the same protection. So if your teacher's up there teaching, most of the time, they're not allowed to insert their own opinion on those matters of public concern because you're seen as a representation of the school district. Outside speech may not be protected if it has a negative impact on the school or functioning or learning. So if you say something that will be disruptive in the classroom outside of school, then the teacher could get in trouble. So if you were going over that and it seems confusing or vague, it definitely is. And it mainly depends on the school district what can and cannot be said by their teachers. Usually as long as the controversial topic is related to the curriculum, it's allowed, usually. Usually as long as the teachers are not appearing to advocate for or against a particular religious or political view, it is allowed, usually. All right, so what you guys are going to be doing next is you're going to be taking the information I went over in those two slides, the Kahoot, to do a compare and contrast between students' freedom of speech and teachers' freedom of speech. In the Kahoot, there will be a situation involving a teacher and free speech, and there will be two options. Number one, the teacher can be disciplined, or the teacher cannot be disciplined. So in other words, the teacher cannot get in trouble for what they're saying, or the teacher can get in trouble for what they're saying. So on your Google Classroom, go ahead and open up that Kahoot. The game pin should be 0944906. I'll go ahead and type that in here. All right, and you're going to use that information once you have gone through that Kahoot to compare and contrast students' free speech in that additional information section of your current event report. If you're not quite sure where to find that in your current event report, go ahead and scroll down to the background section of your notes, and it is this part right here where it says additional information. You can go ahead and type similarities, differences, and record those similarities right there in your additional information and record those differences in your additional information. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Remember, my contact information is at the bottom of this Google Classroom post. So if the Kahoot isn't working or anything like that, feel free to contact me. We'll see you later.